welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to hang out with you mamas and I wanted to share with you an update about Lowly Vale and our community, our book club, as well as what is mama reading for the month of January. If you'd like to hear more, then let's get started. Hey you, did you hit that play button for the very first time? Well, welcome to the channel. I'm Tasha. This is Tasha Pivots, where we talk about all things mamahood and homeschool and how I'm pivoting through this journey. And I know that if you've been with me for some time, then you know that usually at the first week of every month, I usually share what our homeschool read alouds are. Well, I'm taking a break. We'll get to that. But I wanted to share first a continuum of just this week where we're in a lot of self-reflection and we're prepping for the year. And so if you are new, Happy New Year. If you're just tuning in, Happy New Year's week. It's already almost to the end. What? And I wanted to share with you a little bit about Lowly Vale, because if you haven't been here long and you're like, what is that? It's a mamahood community that I created because there were so many seasons in the last 8 years of being a mother that I've walked through lonely. I've walked through feeling like I'm the only person, that I don't have community, that I don't have someone I'm linking arms with side to side, that we're not having communion, conversation. I just couldn't resonate with many people because some people at the time when I was a first-time mom were not moms. And so I love that this community, it's based on Lowly Vale means humble covering. And we love to meet twice a month, every other Sunday in the evening for an hour and a half, where we have topics, we have icebreakers, we've got a book for the month, we've got devotional writing and journal prompts, we have mama intentions that we set for every month that we love to encourage each other and support each other in. And we're just doing life together, even though we're global. Like, everyone is spread out. No one is in one base. No one's like down the street. Everyone is spread out. And it's been so beautiful to see it grow. And so if you'd like to hear more or you want to see more, head on to tashapivots.com/lowlyvale. I will also link it down below. Also, we have a book club. We've had a book club since the beginning. We've read books like Try Softer, Missional Motherhood, Mama Bear Apologetics, Unhurried Homeschool, and now we are getting prepared for this month's book, and I'm going to share with you because it's part of my books for January. And so if it's something that you're thinking about, something you'd love to be a part of, again, go ahead and check it out over on tashapivots.com. All right, let's see and get into what I'm reading this month. So last year I read maybe a total of 50 books. I know, I'm shocked too. But I read a lot, especially when I was not feeling well, especially when there was seasons where I just stayed in bed, just to keep my brain from like not going crazy. I read a lot. I read a lot of fiction, a little bit of soul care. And so this month, as it's January, we love to be refreshed. We love to be in the spirit of like setting intentions and goals and things and changing habits and all those things. I wanted to choose books that really focus on the goals that I'm working towards and the intentions that I'm already trying to set in my home and what could actually grow me. So this is more of a soul care. I've got one fiction book in here that I chose that was kind of on my TBR. I also, if you're a huge reader, huge avid reader person, and you love looking at Bookstagram, I do have one. I don't usually share it publicly because it's not a big deal. It's just a creative way for me to share my reviews on books or even just a book I'm reading. It allows me to make curated photos, and that is Ashatal Reads, which is very similar to my already Instagram, which you can follow me on Ashatal. And it's just my name spelled backwards, okay? So my full name is Latasha, so it's just flipped, okay? So all that to say, these are my books. I'm gonna go through them. The very first one is the book we are reading as a community in our Lowly Vale for the book of the month, and that is Unseen by Sarah Haggerty. It is the gift of being hidden in a world that loves to be noticed. Amen. I am so excited. All of the ladies, we take a vote on books. At first, when we started, I would choose a book and then we would just do a study guide and all those things. But lately, this past couple of seasons, we've all taken votes. So we put up the books that are on our list and everybody's like, oh, well, that's on my list too. And so we all take a vote. And this was our January. And so I'm exactly like, this is exactly timely for me, if that's even a word or a sentence. It's Meet God in the Hidden Hours. And I've never heard of Sarah Haggerty. This is new to me, but I am ready to dive in deep. We're reading this for the whole month of January, and we were talking about it towards the end. And so if you'd like to join us, join now so that we can go ahead and get you involved. So there's that. The next one, I'm actually going to do all my soul care books. Now, I call it soul care because I don't like self-care. I know it's important. I know it's a thing, but I think my soul needs it far more than myself. Myself is ever changing, but my soul is like, you know, it needs to be revived and stay in where it needs to go. If that makes sense. I don't know why I don't like the word self-care. I think it's just because it's so common and it's so about us. It's so self driven. And then we still feel empty sometimes, or we feel like we're not enough. And so I think when we're working on our soul, and we're refining our soul, then there is something that it's everlasting, it's evergreen. There's something that's eternal about that. So anyway, the next two are here. The first one, it was a gift to me from a friend. Holier Than Thou, how God's holiness helps us to trust him. I've heard a lot of reviews about this book. I actually follow Jackie Hill Perry. I've never listened to her sermons. I've never done anything. I just follow her in a weird way. I think I meant to, but I never went into doing it. But I've heard wonderful reviews about this, so I'm excited to read this. Alongside just like my Bible is my main thing, but I love to always be challenged, you know, and I love kind of her approach to things in the passings of me listening to her on just like Instagram lives or something like that. Like I love the rawness and the directness of her. It reminds me of my inner self. So I'm excited to read this. The next one is I'm going to shout out Tori because I think I saw her reading this last year and I took a screenshot. And Tori from Oaksby, Ohana. This is Growing Slow. It is by Jennifer Dunes Lee. It's Lessons of an Unhurried Heart from an Accidental Farm Girl. I actually don't use these. If you've been with me for a while, you know how much I don't like these slipcovers. So typically this is sitting next to my bed like this. I've already started reading this. I read the introductory over the New Year's weekend, and I'm already enjoying it. I'm already feeling challenged, and I'm feeling like it is already what has been stirring. And so now I have some application, I have some equipment, if you will. So I'm going to be reading this starting this week. I should be finished with it by this weekend. Actually, it's like my book for the week, and then I'll go on to the next one. And that's kind of how I average out. I know some people are like, how do you even have time to read? I read, that's my therapy time, that's my quiet time, that's my resting time. Like, yes, I rest like sleep, and then I rest like in the morning. If I'm up before everybody, I'll take a minute to read. And then at the evening, when the girls are already asleep, and I usually stay up maybe an hour to 2 hours, and my husband's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing. It's usually either both of us reading in bed. Then that's the time I take to read, and I love reading. I always have, so I make time for it. So there's this. And then lastly, I picked out this one. I'm going to say I judged a book by a cover, but I also feel like it's been calling me for like a month and I haven't picked it up. There was a huge sale at Barnes & Noble over like the New Year's weekend, I think it was. And it was hardback books were 50% off. And I was like, well, I'm going to get one. And I actually, at the same time, I got the Growing Slow. And so this one is All the Lonely People by Mike Gale. This guy literally reminds me of my grandpa for some reason. And then that cat reminds me of my cat, Mr. Pickles. So that kind of drew me in. But it also drew me in when it says life is waiting. But Herbert Bird has to open his door and let it in. And I was like, So I'm really excited about reading this book. If you've read it already, or if you are familiar with the author and you want to tell me some details, put that down below. But yes, these are the books I'm reading for January. I am giving myself a challenge to at least read anywhere from 2 to 4 books a month. Again, that's another thing that I shared in my goals and intentions video of like staying away from being on my phone and just being and reading and letting my brain imagine and not having something imagined for me. Like I'm teaching my kids, but I'm practicing it as well. And I just love reading, honestly. So I have a few books here to go ahead and keep me busy for the month of January. Let me know what you're reading. Are you a reader? Are you an auditory reader? Like you like to listen to it in the car? What is that? Go ahead and link those all down below. I'd love to hear what those choices are. And yeah, so that is my January books of the month. Lowly Veil is already in full swing. We do have a membership fee. It can be a 2-part or a 1-part fee, and then it's no more. It's not a monthly thing because I know what it's like to be on a budget, but I also think it's great if you can intentionally do something for yourself. And this is your way of sowing that seed of doing something for yourself. And if you want to know more about that, again, go over to TashaPivots.com/Lowly Veil. There's a hello video of talking more about it. And yeah, and if you have questions, you know what to do. Email me, comment down below. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. And until next time, guys, I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful week. I can't wait to see you on the next one. I'll talk to you later. Bye.